Selfin. I'm one of the founding team and the Chief Operating and Technology Officer for Finaro. Finaro is a European bank, and we are focused on e-commerce, cross-border global payments to our multidimensional merchants which do card not present, card present, and mobile payments. We've been recently acquired by Shift4. Shift4 is an American, US-based payment processor as well, focused on card present in the US market. And together, we basically have an opportunity to provide to our merchants a real global solution, omnichannel, pending the ECB regulatory approvals. We will give that soon to the market in the best way possible.
You've mentioned the word omnichannel. For the purposes of this conversation, what does omnichannel mean?
So omnichannel basically means the ability to serve customers, consumers, and for us to provide solutions, to be able to provide these solutions in different mediums, right? If it's a present form factor, right, like card present, point of sale, at the store where it's offline, right, brick and mortar, and the ability to provide services and solutions in online and other mediums, right? We call it, love to call it multidimensional, because today there are a lot of experience that basically moves between the channels. You start it online, you go and get it offline, go back home, and then maybe return it via post office. So we like to look at it as a more complex mesh of channels.
In other words, to put it very briefly, if you have a merchant who's selling stuff and their customers want to buy that stuff in a number of different ways, and sometimes more than one way in the entire transaction, you can help them.
We can help them with that, and we've been very good at following the customer, the end user customer experience when it goes between the online and the offline mediums.
Is omnichannel the thing that makes Finaro different from its competitors, your secret sauce, if you like?
I would say that basically omnichannel is the way that we provide the experience to our customers and to their end users.
Yes.
I would think that some of our technologies that we provide, like tokenization and roaming of tokens, this is what makes this omnichannel experience provided by Finaro very different.
So when the consumer buys something through a merchant who is one of your clients, does the consumer know about the tokens and Finaro, or does the consumer really only know about the merchant and you're just in the background making the whole thing possible?
I always like to say that we are like the technology behind the camera in a smartphone. There's so much technology and processes that run behind this one click that you do.
Yes.
And so we are behind the scene taking all the complexity from the transactions and the tokenization and the safety of the transactions and the processing of the transaction for the end user. So he just clicks by, everything happens, no matter how complicated it in the background, from a security perspective, processing of the transaction, regulatory perspective, it could be between different regions that have different regulatory aspects. We take care of all of that seamlessly to our merchants, to our partners, and they in turn to their end consumers.
My next question relates to the passage of time.
Yes.
If you go to a number of these conferences, you realize that over time that at first glance they look quite similar. Huge conference facilities, great organization, interesting people and ideas, fair amount of razzmatazz and so on. But as you go through time, from one year to another year to another year, the emphasis and the topics and what really interests people changes.
Yes.
So for you, here at Money 2020 in Amsterdam in 2023, what are you talking about and what's new and different this time out?
I think that the evolution of making payments as simple as possible, while providing to the simplicity a variety of capabilities to the end user, this is what every year is evolving. So today we talk about embedded finance, we talk about tokens, we talk about identity tokens, we talk about all these things that ultimately, and open banking, right? Ultimately, what they are targeted at is making sure that the end consumer can do a complicated payment transaction while making it seamless and compliant with regulations completely. And every year you see this evolvement. Even if a couple of years ago or a few years ago, blockchain was interesting. Again and again, it's about making complex transactions very simple. Cross-border transaction in a seamless manner. So I think that this year we hear a lot about embedded finance, we hear about payment facilitator models that are going and growing, marketplaces, of course, that are growing. And this is all, I think, in order to provide to the end consumer a seamless experience, no matter how complex it has to be in the back end.
A lot of what you do is what's normally done by FinTechs, yet you're also a bank.
Yes.
What does being a bank mean for you? How does it help you?
So thank you for this question, because I think it's very important. We consider ourselves a FinTech company.
Yes.
Yet we do own all these licenses, the acquiring licenses, the memberships with the card schemes and others, and obviously the credit institution license as a bank that we have. Because today, in order to provide this full service to our customers in the best and seamless manner, and by the way, the more cost effective, and also to make sure that you approve more transaction, we believe strongly that holding the full stack from the licenses through the business processes and the technology provides the ultimate and superior experience and a better experience to our customers.
Excellent. Are there any other topics that you think we should cover in this excellent and wide-ranging conversation?
Yes, I think that we are, as a global-oriented company, we have built a platform that today, together with Shift4 and the big customers worldwide and global customers that they bring, we are looking into a global expansion that we believe that, again, today, payment service providers needs to think about this global expansion the way that we do, because e-commerce is becoming the bigger chunk of commerce, and for new businesses for sure. And you need to be able, because they start in one country, but ultimately they want to begin by selling to the whole world. And as a bank and a payment service provider and a merchant acquirer, we have that, and we are looking into expanding with our merchants as fast as possible across the globe.